something happened. And it just has nothing to do with people sleeping on my boat. I hadn't had anybody sleeping on my boat lately either. So there's some new people that might want to hear that story again, but we'll do that another day. So we had a boat called the Miss Charleston, and my father sold it to a local fellow here named Randy Rhodes. And they were traveling with that boat. They were going to Florida and doing all kinds of things. And they were all sleeping. So the way the boat was set up, like I said, it had the steering wheel and had a captain's chair here where my father used to sit. And then when we want to talk to him, we come up there and sit in the mate's chair. And we sit like that. So there's two chairs and these windows and doors right here that you go out to the side. So as the boat was traveling, they were down off of Miami. And Randy Rhodes was sleeping. I wasn't on the boat. I heard this secondhand. Randy Rhodes was sleeping, and a boy named Frankie Canapo was in the captain's chair. Well, they have an automatic pilot, and the steering wheel goes dun, 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 and it stays on a certain course. And he has his feet kicked up on the dash. He's sitting up there, and he starts to nod off a little bit. And you wake up because you can't go to sleep because you might run into something. And everybody's sleeping. And he says he felt like somebody was looking at him. So he kind of looked out the door there. And he said standing in the door, got his up on the, you can stand on the deck, and then you stand up on what they call a gunnel. He was standing on the gunnel, had his hand on the roof, and was looking in the door at him like this, and it was a buccaneer with the leather boots, the sword, and the hat with the feather. And so he shook his head, looked one way, and looked back, and he walked away. So he woke everybody else up, and they said they all walked out there, and on top of the gunnel going off the back of the boat, they could see the footprints going off the back of the boat. So that scared a few people there. Everybody heard about that, so we decided to start sword fishing. And on a sword fishing boat, you got 6 people instead of 3. You got 6 people. So captain and everybody else is sleeping. Captain keeps an eye on things during the day, but at night you have to take a watch. So we had Joe Lewis and some other fellows that had been shrimping all the years with us, and they were a little superstitious. So I said, let's scare Joe. So me and my college roommate, we decided, those little saloons are where you crack it and you shake it up and it glows in the dark. Well, I'm laying in the bunk and I tell my buddy to go get this stuff and break it loose and paint his face all green and put it all over his hands. And he goes down through the engine room and comes up through the front hatch. So if you're sitting up there in that chair, and the steering wheel and everything, you're looking out over the ocean, you can't see that hatch because that hatch is up front and down low. So my man sneaks up like this, and he sneaks up through that hole, and Joe is looking out the thing about half asleep, scared because I can't see land. We're 100-something miles offshore. And I'm laying in the bed watching, and Joe, my buddy, jumps up and slaps both hands on the window and goes, and scares the hell out of Joe, and he starts hollering for my father, who wasn't even on the boat. So these little ghost stories brought me to where we are today. Last week, I got a phone call from one of my friends. I'm involved in an organization downtown. And he calls up and says, hey, I went down there to check on things, make sure the tables are set up, make sure all the food's right. And there was 2 people standing out in the street. So I asked them what they were doing on the street. This is Chalmers Lane downtown where the cobblestones are. They're standing out in the street. I said, well, we're upstairs doing some construction on the 3rd floor. We had to go down to the 2nd floor to get something. And we heard the door slam. And then we heard some people walking around up there. And the other guy with me from over here says, I'm out of here. And that's what he said, don't leave me. So we just stand out here in the street waiting for somebody to come. We had ghosts in the building downtown on Schirmer Street. And that's what made me think of ghost stories. Lou was giving me the pull.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's the same room that I was going up the stairs.